Okay, question 14 part B. It's another algorithm to work through. So write down the outputs produced by the following algorithm. There's a space to write your answer in, and there's the algorithm itself. So remember, your answer is just the outputs. Anything else that you need to write down as you work through it, you can just write that down in the space next to the question. So perhaps pause the video, have a go at it. You can always refer back to question 14 part A, which is another example of one of these if you need any pointers. But yeah, pause the video and then come back and we'll work through the answer. Okay, so write down the outputs produced by the following algorithm. The first thing we got is counter assign 5. So remember this arrow here, we would read that as the word assign. And what that means is we're creating a variable called counter and we're giving it the value 5. So I mean basically counter equals 5, but we call it assignment. So I don't have to remember the value of the counter. I'm just going to write this down in the corner somewhere. So counter is 5. And that's my top tip for you guys in this answering this type of question. So let's move through this line by line. We've done that line for I assign 1 to 4. So we've got a loop, and I is going to cycle through the values 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I don't need to remember it. I'm going to write that down as well. So I will start off at 1. Now we're inside the loop, so we're going to output hello, and notice there's a comma here. That means that we're separating more than one thing that we need to output. And we got the word counter. Now, if that was written in quote marks, just like hello, then we'd output the word counter. Because it's not, we need to look through all of the variables that we've got in our program, see if we can find one called counter, see if it's got a value, and then output that value. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to look through this list of things I've written down. I can see I have a variable called counter, and it has currently has the value 5. So where I've got this output, where I've got this word counter, I'm going to replace that with 5. So my output is going to be the word hello and 5. There we go. So there we are. First step done. Counter is now going to be assigned the value of counter minus 1. So what I need to do is I need to do this little sum, and then its result is going to be assigned back to counter. So counter is 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say 5 minus the value of I is currently 1, so 5 minus 1 is 4. So I'm going to replace the value of counter with 4. There we go. You can see that I did that with that little helpful animation there. Okay, so we've done that, but we don't need to do anything else. There's no outputs or anything here. But we come down to this line, we say next I. So remember, I can go up to the value 4. Let's see what it is. It's 1. So we can make I go up to 2. And if we can make I go up, what that means is we have to come back around and do everything inside this loop again. So we output hello and the value of the counter. So the counter is now currently 4. So we're going to put hello and 4. Okay, great. Next line, counter is going to be assigned counter minus I. So counter is 4 and I is 2. So 4 minus 2 is 2. There we go. Okay, next I. So I is currently 2. It can go up to 4. So we add 1 to it. So remember, each time when we're increasing I, we just increase it by 1. Okay, so where are we? Next I. So I can go up to 3. Because we put I up, it means we can go back around this loop. So what do? We output the word hello and the value of the counter, which is 2. Okay, hello 2. Counter assign counter minus I. So counter is 2 and I is 3. So 2 minus 3 is minus 1. Okay, so we've done that. Next I can go up from 3 to 4. Because we put I up, it means we go back around this loop. So we output hello and the value of the counter, which is minus 1. There we go. Counter assign counter minus I. So, okay, counter is minus 1. I is 4. So minus 1 take away 4 is minus 5. Okay, so we've done that. Next I. Now because I is 4, and then we've said in the start here that I can only actually go up to 4, we can't put I up any further, which means that this loop now stops. So we come down here and we output end of the program. So I is 4, so we can leave the loop. A couple of points here. So first point is that obviously there's no marks for anything we've done here, so you may not even have worked out the counter was -5 because you'll have realized that, well, once we've done this, the loop's going to stop once we output so hello -1, which is fine. Another quick point is that this question's interesting because a lot of people will see, well, might think, oh, I assign 1 to 4, so we're going to we got the counter as 5, and they might think that the counter is going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, not actually bearing in mind that I goes up each time, which means we end up with 5, 4, 2, -1. Okay, so my tip is never make an assumption of how an algorithm is going to work through each line, as we've just done in this example. Right, so if you've made it to the end of this one, well done. I hope this was helpful. I'll stop this one and then we'll go on to the next one.